Hey everybody, it's time for another game in the League of Desperation. We're dwindled down to 3 teams, and after this game we'll be down to a final 2. The 2 teams remaining in this elimination game are the 1977 Toronto Blue Jays and the 2003 Detroit Tigers. The winner will be eliminated. The loser will go play Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay will have the advantage of not having won a game yet, so the team that advances will have to lose 2 in a row in order to win the title, or lose the title, however you want to look at it, of being the biggest loser. All right, Toronto is the designated home team since Detroit was the designated home team in their game against Montreal. So let's meet the starting pitchers. First for the Blue Jays, it'll be right-hander Dave LeManchik. And on the 77 season, he was 13-16 with a 4.25 ERA. He'll be opposed by the Tigers' Jeremy Bonderman. And Bonderman, in 2003 for Detroit, was 6-19 with a 5.56 ERA. Let's meet the starting lineups for the Tigers since they will be coming to bat first. One change at the top. They have benched Alex Sanchez, who has not been playing well. And so Andres Torres will lead off and play center field. The rest of the lineup is pretty much the same. Warren Morris at second will hit second. Bobby Higginson in right field will hit third. Dimitri Young at the cleanup batter is also the DH. Batting fifth is Carlos Pena at first base. Hitting sixth is the left fielder Craig Monroe. Batting seventh at third base is Eric Munson. Batting eighth and catching Brandon Inge. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Ramon Santiago. All right, so Torres, switch hitter, is up to bat left-handed against LeManchik. And we are ready to go. I guess you call it round 5, even though it's only one game. So LeManchik delivers to Torres, and it is a 4-4. 4-4 against the lefty Torres. It's a fly ball center field X. That's Gary Woods in center, and Gary Woods is a 4-rated center fielder. And that's a 19, so he'll make the play. I do believe when it's that high, even a 4-rated center fielder will make the play. And he does. Fly ball B. So fly out to center to get the ball game started. Torres is out. Second baseman Warren Morris stepping to the plate. It's a 5-8 off LeManchik. A 5-8 is a ground ball to first. Handled by Doug Alt. 2 away for Bobby Higginson. Higginson, a 5-6. 5-6 is again off LeManchik. 5-6 is a ground ball to second. And that's going to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down go the Tigers. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays as they'll be facing Bonderman. Leading off in left field is Al Woods. Batting second at shortstop is Bob Baylor. Hitting third at first base is Doug Alt. Batting cleanup, he just finished his duties with Montreal. Now he can fully concentrate on Toronto, and that's DH Ron Fairley. Batting fifth is the right fielder Otto Velez. Hitting sixth at third base is Roy Howell. Batting seventh, center fielder Gary Woods. Batting eighth and catching Alan Ashby. And batting ninth, returning to the lineup, but this time at second base, is Dave McKay, as Steve Staggs has been struggling. So, Al Woods steps in to face Bonderman. We get a 6-8, so we'll check Bonderman. 6-8 against a lefty batter, and that's a strikeout. So Bonderman starts out on a positive note for sure with a strikeout of Al Woods. And that'll bring up shortstop Bob Baylor. Baylor, a 1-9. 1-9 against Bonderman is a ground ball to the pitcher. A lot of hits in column 1, but he missed it. He found his out. So it's a ground ball to Bonderman for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for first baseman Doug Alt. That's a 2-5. 2-5 is a walk. So Doug Alt draws a 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Ron Fairley. Fairley, a 1-9. 1-9's a fly to left, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for either team in the first. We start the top of the second. It'll be the DH Dimitri Young, switch hitter. It's a 2-7. 2-7's a ground ball to Alt at first, and there's one away. He'll take it to the bag himself. One down for Carlos Pena. Carlos Pena. And we get a 2-5. 2-5 for Carlos Pena is a single. So Carlos Pena with a base hit. That'll bring up Craig Monroe. Monroe, a 1-2. And a 1-2 is a single to right field. So Craig Monroe with a single. Pena will stop at second. Runners at first and second. One out for Eric Munson. It's a 4-5 off LeManchik. And that's a fly to center. So 2 away. And it'll be up to Brandon Inge to get the job done. Another homeboy. Went to VCU. Here's Brandon Inge. It's a 4-8. 4-8 is a 1-6 for a triple. 7-20 is a single with 2 stars. So either way, a run's going to score. 1-6, he'll clear the bases. And he does with a 5. Brandon Inge comes through with a 2-run triple. 2-run, 2-out triple to put the Tigers ahead by the score of 2-0. Inge did have 3 triples on the season, although that one was off the pitcher card. So here's Santiago. It's 2-6. 2-6 is a ground ball to short, and the inning is over. But the damage was done as Brandon Inge, 2-run triple, puts the Tigers in front 2-0. And that'll bring up Otto Velez. That's a 3-6. 3-6 for Velez will be a base on balls. So not a good way to start when the team gives you the lead to come out and walk the leadoff batter. But it happened, and now here's Roy Howell. Roy Howell. I want to re-roll that because I knocked the dice over. So let's see, 6-8. So I don't even know what they really were. I didn't want to change the results. 6-8. 6-8's a strikeout. 6-8's a strikeout for Bonderman. So Howell is out of there on strikes. I'm going to try to roll these dice so they can show up on camera. But when they bounce around and get towards the bottom down here, I lose track of them. So let's see if I can improve on that. Here's Gary Woods. That's a 2-5. 2-5 is a ground ball second base C. So Woods is out, but Velez will move to second on the ground out. So with 2 outs, he is in scoring position for the catcher, Alan Ashby, switch hitter. Ashby, a 1-7. 1-7 is a walk. So tying runs are now on base. And here's that man, Dave McKay, who in previous games was 4 for 4. He only hit 197 on the season, but that last game he played, he was 4 for 4. So don't know if he can get that magic back or not. It's a 6-11, so we're under Bonderman. He's a switch hitter batting left. 6-11 is a fly ball to right. There is no ballpark effect, so it's simply a fly to right, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Blue Jays here in the second. So top of the order for the Tigers in the third, it'll be Andres Torres. Fly to center his first time up. 6-5 is a strikeout. No, I'm sorry, I was looking at 5-5. 6-5 is a ground ball to second. So Torres grounds to McKay at second for out number 1. Bring up Warren Morris. Grounded to first in his first at bat. It's a 1-6. 1-6, he's going to ground to second. So 2 consecutive ground balls to second to start the inning. Here's Higginson. He also grounded to second his first time up. It's a 4-10. 4-10 off of LeManchik. 4-10 is another ground ball to second. So there you go. All 3 outs, ground balls to second. And an easy 1-2-3 inning for starter LeManchik. So we go to the bottom of the third. Bonderman out there to face the top of the order. Al Woods. Al Woods, it's a 5-8. 5-8 against the lefty is a ground ball to first. So Woods will ground it to Pena. Steps on the bag for an easy out. And here is Bob Baylor. Baylor, a 2-5. 2-5 is another ground ball to second. So ground balls reign in these last couple of innings, or last inning at least. Here's Doug Alt. It's a 2-8. 2-8 for Alt. Another ground ball to third. All these hits, and he found his ground ball to third. So he is out of there. 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays. We played 3 complete. It's still 2-0 Tigers. And now DH Dimitri Young. We'll see if he can't get something going. It's a 3-4. 3-4. No, another ground ball. This one to first. So it's a ground ball bonanza. The last 7 outs have been ground balls. Here's Carlos Pena. 111. 111. Well, why break the trend? Another ground ball to second. So 4-3 ground out, and McKay is busy over there. So that's 11 outs in a row. I'm sorry, 8 outs in a row that have been grounders in the infield. Here's Monroe, 111. That might change. 111, you better believe it might change. 1-11. 111 is a 1-15 homer, and 16-20 for a flyout. So 1-15, and it'll be a 3-0 ball game. It's a 14, so he did it. Home run. Home run for Craig Monroe. And the Tigers now lead it 3-0. And that'll bring up Eric Munson to 211. 211 is a single to right field, so a 2-out single by Munson. And here's Inge, who tripled his first time up to 3-8. 3-8 is a strikeout this time, and that's going to end the inning. But the Tigers do pick up a run. And after 3.5, it's 3-0 Tigers. Here come the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 4th. Ron Fairley. It's a 1-6. And it's another ground ball. Ground ball to short this time. Santiago handles it. 1 away for Otto Velez. Velez. It's a 1-7. And he's got a 1-5 chance for a triple. 6-20 will be a fly to center. That's an 8, so it's a fly to center. Hit it a ton, but Torres tracked it down out there. Kept it from getting in the gap for a triple. Here's Roy Howell. 3-8. 3-8 is a strikeout for Howell. And that's going to end the inning as the Blue Jays go quietly once again. So after 4 complete, it is still 3-0 Tigers. And start the 5th, it'll be Santiago, number 9 hitter, 1-7. And he's got 1-12 chance for a single. 13-20 would be a line out to Alt at first. It's an 8, so it's a base hit. Leadoff single for Santiago. Now he is a B stealer. Ashby is a -1 arm. That would make it a 1-9. So they're not going to risk it. They're going to go ahead and let the next. Actually, Torres is an A bunter, so they're going to have him bunt. He's going to sacrifice. He'll be a B bunter since the Blue Jays would be expecting it. So it's a 3. He might beat this out. A 3, a B bunter, and he did beat it out. It says batter beats out bunt, runners advance. So how about that? A bunt single for Torres. He was trying to give himself up, but he actually beat it out. So runners at first and second, nobody out. Warren Morris, the batter, he is a B bunter, so they're going to let him bunt. Makes him a C bunter. And that's a 4. So we'll check a C bunter and a 4. C bunter and a 4. Batters thrown up by pitcher, runners advance. So successful sacrifice. 1-4. And Torres will go to second. Santiago will go to third. So runners at second and third, 1 out for Bobby Higginson. And the Blue Jays are going to bring the infield in with Higginson up there. Try to choke the runoff if they can. 3-4. 3-4. 3-4 is a ground ball third base B. So let's check the chart here for infield in. When the infield is in and you get a ground ball B, result is the batter is safe. The runner on third is out. So they tried to send him, didn't make it. Santiago is out, 5-2. Torres will go to third, and Higginson reaches on the fielder's choice. But they threw the runner out at the plate to hold the run from scoring. And now there are 2 outs, and it'll be up to Dimitri Young with runners at the corners. And that's a 6-8 against LeManchik. 6-8's a single to center field, so that will get a run home. That will score Torres on the base hit by Dimitri Young. Higginson will stop at second. Tigers add another run. It's now 4-0. And LeManchik may not be lasting too much longer. The bullpen is working. Here's Pena. Pena, a 5-7. 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's McKay. And McKay is a 3 rated second baseman. And that's an 11, so most likely an error check, I'm pretty sure. Yep, it sure is. An 11 is in fact an error check. And McKay is an E27, and that's a 6. So an E27 and a 6 is an E1, one base error. So it's a one base error that's going to load the bases. Can't blame that one on LeManchik. But the bases are loaded. And it looks like we're going to get a new pitcher, because coming up next is Craig Monroe, who took LeManchik deep his last time up, and he's 2 for 2 in the game. So LeManchik is going to exit, and we'll take a pause while we get to the new Toronto pitcher. Okay, the new Toronto pitcher is Pete Vukovich. He's in to try to see if he can get his team out of this mess. The bases are loaded with 2 outs, 1 run's already in. And Craig Monroe, who homered last time up, is stepping to the plate. It's a 4-7. And a 4-7 is a 1-12 for a single. 13-20 is a line out. So it's a 1-12, and we'll have a single 1 star. It's a 10, so it's a single. And the 1 run will come in on the 1 star. That will be charged to LeManchik. And the bases remain loaded. It's an unearned run because of the error on McKay previously, but that doesn't matter. It's a run nonetheless, and it's now a 5-0 ball game for Eric Munson. Munson, a 4-3. He's a lefty, a 4-3. That's an in chance for a home run, and he does have in power. So 1-12 is a grand slam home run. 13-20 is a fly to right. If it's a 1-12, the ball game's pretty much over. It's a 16, so he got out of it. It's a fly ball to right. Keeps the Blue Jays in the game. It's just 5. It would have been 9-0 had that gone out, but it's 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And with the Tigers' lack of pitching, 5 runs is never safe. So here's Gary Woods to lead off the bottom of the 5th against Bonderman, who is pitching well, 2-7. 2-7 is a ground ball to short. So Bonderman, maybe with the advent of these runs to support him, has settled in. It's a 3-6 for Ashby, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. So Bonderman is just getting these ground balls left and right. In fact, as I look at the score sheet, there's been a fly out to left, and a fly out to center, and a fly out to right. So 3 fly outs. Everything else has been on the ground. Here's McKay to 1-3. 1-3 there's a fly ball. It's a fly ball to right, but doesn't matter. It's an out, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays not doing much offensively. It is still 5-0 as we go to the 6th, and Vukovich will stay in there to pitch the 6th. He'll be facing Al Woods, top of the order for the. He'll be facing Inge. At the wrong team up there. Here's Inge, and Inge has tripled and struck out. It's a 6-8. 6-8 is a ground ball to third, so handled out there by the third baseman, Roy Howell. He made the play, 1 away. Here's Ramon Santiago. That's a 6-10. So a 6-10 against a switch hitter who bats left is a ground ball to short. Bob Baylor is the shortstop. He's a 4 rated shortstop. And that's a 4, so it's probably a base hit. Almost assuredly, and it is. So it's a base hit for Santiago. He's 2 for 3. And that'll bring up Andres Torres. Torres, 211. 211 is a line out max to first base, so he's going to line it to Alt at first, who steps on the bag, catching Santiago wandering for a double play. So an L3 and a 3 unassisted. Double play. And that ends the inning. As we go now to the bottom of the 6th, this is Bonderman's 6th inning, starts his point of weakness, but obviously he's rolling, so let's see if he can keep it going. Al Woods, a 5-7. 5-7 against Bonderman is a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Morris, who is a 4. And that's a 17, so that's a good play. And that's a 4-3 ground out. Yet another ground out. Ground outs keep coming. Here's Bob Baylor. That's a 6-6 off of Bonderman. 6-6 off of Bonderman. 1-7 for a triple. 8-20 for a double. 1-7 for a triple. 8-20 is a double. That's a 15. That's a double for Bob Baylor. And that is the Blue Jays' first hit of the ball game. So Bonderman loses the no-hitter with 1 out here in the 6th. Here's Doug Alt. It's a 3-9. 3-9 is a strikeout. So maybe they angered Bonderman by getting the hit off of him. He comes back and strikes out Alt with 2 outs. And here's Ron Fairley. It's a 3-3. 3-3 is another ground ball second base A, and that's going to end the inning. But the no-hitter is no longer intact. And we're going to the 7th. And for the Tigers, it'll be some lefties coming up. So new pitcher coming in for the Blue Jays as Vukovic will exit. And they will bring on a left-handed reliever, Mike Willis. So lefty Mike Willis, the left-hander, Mike Willis, is coming in. And on the season, he was 2-6 with 5 saves and a 3.94 ERA. Mike Willis. Mike, what you talking about, Willis? Or maybe I should say it correctly. What you talking about, Willis? All right. It can be this way when it's 5-0. All right, here's Warren Morris facing Willis, lefty on lefty. Get back to reality here. 3-9. 3-9 against a lefty. 3-9 is a strikeout. So in the midst of all those singles, Willis found the strikeout. He said, that's what I'm talking about. You want to know what Willis is talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Here's Bobby Higginson, another lefty on lefty. It's a 1-5. That's a ground ball to first. So Alt handles it easily, 2 away. And that brings up Dimitri Young. He will switch around to bat right-handed. And Dimitri, a 2-5. 2-5 as a right-handed batter. He will strike out. So Dimitri not liking the right-hand side very much. 1-2-3 inning. Willis certainly did the job. 7th inning stretch time. Bonderman, like I said, is a point of weakness 6, but he's only given up 1 hit after that point of weakness, so he's going to stay in there. And Otto Velez, we start at the bottom of the 7th. Not even going to stretch, going to keep going. 6-8. 6-8 is a strikeout. So Bonderman says, stretch. I don't need a stretch. I want to keep going. That's a strikeout. Here is Roy Howell. That's a 5-7. 5-7 against a lefty is a ground ball second base X. And Morris is a 4 rated second baseman. And that's a 20, so he made the play. So Morris has gotten 2 good rolls on the D20, a 17 and a 20, so his 4 rated fielding has not hurt him. So here's 2 outs, bases empty, Gary Woods. That's a 5-5 for Bonderman, and that's a ground ball to short. So this is Santiago, ground ball X, and Santiago is a 3. And that's a 17, so that's a good play. And the inning is over. So we played 7, and it's still 5-0 in favor of Detroit. Willis in there, just pitch his 2nd inning. He'll be facing Carlos Pena. Another lefty on lefty matchup. 6-5. 6-5. Oh, it's a chance for a home run as Pena has normal power. So 1-14 is a homer. 15-20 is a triple. So it's either going to be a homer or a triple. 1-14, it's gone. And it's an 8, so it's gone. Carlos Pena. Blast one off of Willis. And we now have a 6-0 ball game. Going to bring up Craig Monroe. Craig Monroe, a 3-4. And a 3-4 against a lefty is a ground ball to short. So one away. Brings up Eric Munson. 5-5 against the lefty. 5-5 is a fly ball to right. 2 down. And that'll bring up Brandon Inge. 6-10 against Willis. 6 and a 10 is a fly ball center field X. That's Gary Woods. And he is also a 4-rated outfielder. And that's a 20, so he'll make that play too. So the D20 was kind to the Blue Jays there on that play. Inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 5-0. And Bonderman's going to stay in there because he's been effective. So here's Ashby. It's a 4-8. 4-8 is a 1-9 single. 10-20 is a line out to second. It's a 6, so it's a base hit. Base hit for Ashby. That'll bring up McKay, and now the Detroit bullpen will start to stir a little bit. Here is McKay, second baseman. It's a 6-3. Switch hitter batting left. 6-3 is a in-home run chance, but McKay against righties is weak on his power. So it would just be single with 2 stars if it's a 1-15. If it's a 16-20, he's going to fly to right, and it's irrelevant. But a 1-15 will be a single with 2 stars. It's a 14. It's a single with 2 stars. And now Bonderman has reached his point of weakness. So we are going to take a break as the Tigers are going to bring in their bullpen and give Bonderman a nice round of applause. And we'll be right back with the new Tiger pitcher. Okay, new Tiger pitcher is lefty Nate Robertson. He is a no, I take that back. I can't use him. I thought I saw where he was a reliever, but he's actually listed only as a starter. So I will not do that. I will rewind and bring in Will Ledesma, the lefty. So Will Ledesma is in there. I was thinking Robertson did both, but according to this now, he did not. So Ledesma, the lefty, is in, and he's going to face the lefty Al Woods. But Roy Hartsfield, the Blue Jay manager, is going to his bench. He's going to bring out outfielder John Scott, the right-hander, and Scott will pinch hit for Woods and also stay in the game to play in the outfield. He'll be playing in left field in place of Woods once the pinch hitting is done. And he will have to be in there for the 9th inning, and his ratings is he's a 3 with an E14 and a +2 arm. So again, not that great. But they're going for offense. Righty against the lefty. Here's John Scott. It's a 6-8 off of Ledesma. And a 6-8 is a ground ball second base X. That's Warren Morris. And he is a 4-rated second baseman. And that's a 10, so that's an error check. So Warren Morris has an E12. And this is a 10. So he's an E12 and a 10. E12 and a 10 is a ground ball A, and that is a double play. So the run will score. Ashby will come in to score, but Scott will hit into the 4-6-3 double play, and that kind of chokes out whatever rally they may have thought they were going to have. It does get them off the schneid to at least get a run across, but it's now 5-1, and there's 2 outs and the base is empty for Bob Baylor. Baylor, a 3-8. 3-8 is a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. I'm sorry, he was facing Ledesma, so it should have been off of a lefty. 3-8 against the lefty. 3-8 against the lefty is a ground ball to the pitcher. So it's not a fly to right, it is a ground ball to the pitcher. Still an out, but I wanted to be accurate. All right, so we finished 8 complete. And we're going to get a new pitcher for the Blue Jays, as Mike Willis has pitched 2 innings, and it's time for him to exit. So they will go to their bullpen, and they're going to bring in right-hander Jerry Johnson. So Jerry Johnson is on. And again, John Scott is in left field as a defensive replacement after pinch hitting for Woods. So Santiago will lead things off. He's 2 for 3. Switch hitter will bat left against Johnson. It's a 1-5. 1-5, he's got a base hit again. 1-12 is a double. 13-20 is a single. It's a 14, it's a single for Santiago. He is 3 for 4. And that'll bring up Andres Torres. Torres is a 5-4. As a switch hitter, he's batting left. 5-4 is a ground ball third base X. That's McKay. And McKay is that's Howell, and he's a 3. 3 and 11, that's going to be a error check. Howell is an E22. E22 and a 6. An E22 and a 6 is a 1 base error. 1 base error. So Howell with the boot. And that puts the first 2 runners on. E5. First 2 runners are aboard. And now that will bring up Morris, the lefty. Warren Morris. 2 on, nobody out. It's a 3-10. So Morris, a 3-10, is a single to left field. And that's going to load the bases, as they'll go ahead and play station to station with this big lead and keep it going down the tracks. The bases are loaded now with nobody out for Bobby Higginson. Blue Jays will have to play the infield in. It's a 2-4. 2-4 is a ground ball second base A. So let's look at the infield in with the bases loaded. The infield in, a ground ball A. Runner on third holds, runners advance 1 base. Well, that can't be right because they can't hold. All right, let's see here. Ground ball A is a double play. So to me, logic dictates with the infield in that it's a double play home to first. That's what I'm calling it. I don't see it on the chart, but I'm just going to go logically here. It's a home to first double play with the infield in. If the infield was back, it would have been around the horn double play. But the ground ball on the 2-4, the ground ball went to second, so it's a 4 to home. It's a 4-2 force play, and then a 2-3 double play for out number 2. Morris will go to second, and Torres will go to third. So runners at second and third now with 2 outs. And that might not be exactly by the book, but just to me, logic dictates if the infield was in, that's what it would be. So I may have been misreading that, but the runner was 4, so he couldn't hold. So I'm calling it that way. Right or wrong, that's what I'm doing. Here's Dimitri Young. And Dimitri Young, second, third, 2 outs. So 5-6. 5-6 is a strikeout. So Jerry Johnson gets out of it, striking out Dimitri Young to end the inning. So that's it for the Tigers. Nothing across as they threatened but didn't score. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Blue Jays. It's a 5-1 ball game, and we're going to be right back with the new Tiger pitcher to try to close things down. It's not a safe situation, but they want to bring in a righty anyway. Okay, I would call him Franklin German, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Herman. So Franklin Herman is on. For the season, he was 2-4 with 5 saves, although he did have a 6.04 ERA. But Herman is in to try to close things down. It's not a save situation, so if it starts to get a little tighter, we may see a different reliever in there. But right now, Doug Ault, to lead things off, he's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. 3-5. 3-5 is a fly to right, and there's 1 away. So the Tigers, 2 outs away from elimination and sending the Blue Jays into the finals. Here's Fairley. It's a 5-7. 5-7 is a walk. So Herman walks Fairley. And that'll bring up Otto Velez, the right fielder. Otto Velez, a 6'4". Herman, a 6'4", is a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Torres, who's a 3. And that's a 20, so he'll make the play. 2 down. And it's up to Roy Howell. Last chance for the Blue Jays. Roy Howell. It's a 111. And a 111 is a ground ball back to the pitcher, and that's going to do it. The Tigers defeat the Blue Jays by the score of 5-1. They will advance. Or I'm sorry, the Blue Jays will advance. The Tigers are eliminated. So the Blue Jays, thanks to that loss, will advance to take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in the finals, but they're going to have to lose to Tampa Bay twice in order to win the whole thing, because they've already got a win. And in fact, their win, the only win they had, was against Tampa Bay earlier. So it's the only team in the tournament they've beaten is Tampa, and they're going to get a chance to beat them again. And we'll be right back with the totals. All right, we'll wrap this one up. The Tigers win it by the score of 5-1. 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Blue Jays. Winning pitcher was Jeremy Bonderman. The loser was Dave Lemanchik. But with the win, Detroit is eliminated, so that sets up our final. It'll be the final of the T's. The way they have Tabletop and Tenacious on the YouTube channels, TNT. We've got TNT here, Tampa Bay and Toronto. But, as we said earlier, they faced each other one time already in the earlier bracket. Toronto beat Tampa Bay, which put them down here, and put Tampa Bay way up here. Tampa Bay hasn't played in a while. They've been just sitting there resting, waiting. So they're going to get the chance to play Toronto right here. And if Toronto beats Tampa Bay, then Tampa Bay will be the biggest loser. If Tampa Bay beats Toronto, then we go to another game to determine that. But for right now, this is the only game in round 5. We've completed it. The Tigers have won by the score of 5-1. And until next time, hope everybody enjoys doing whatever game you choose to play, however, what level you choose to play it, whether it's a basic, advanced, or super advanced. And I will see everybody down the road.